So, do people, foreign people living in Japan, need to speak Japanese? I lived in Japan, I'm a foreigner, and to be honest, without Japanese, I don't think I could have survived. I mean, not literally like as in I die. I mean, wait, no, wait, maybe? Would I? Because how can you get food if you can't communicate that you want food? So let me put it this way. When Japanese people go overseas to English-speaking countries, such as, the UK, America, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, anymore? Of course, they can't use Japanese. I mean, it's a given. In the UK, Japanese isn't one of the, I would even imagine, top 3 or 4 or 5 languages used in this country. So, when going abroad, they need some form of English communication to get around. Shouldn't it be, again, common sense and a given that when foreign temporary residents who are looking to live and work in Japan obviously come to Japan, should they not actually have some Japanese under their belt? Japan is very much still a Asian nation which uses its language first and sticks to that language as the main and preferred form of communication and conversation between people, whether you're Japanese or not. It's kind of difficult to make a case for not using Japanese or finding some way not to use Japanese when in Japan. I've heard stories, I've heard from people even, who've said they've literally survived off of the most basic Japanese that you'd get from a tourist language handbook, or even getting by with body language, gestures, which just seems insane. I know people who have lived in Japan and maybe have never even used Japanese at all. They've literally winged it. Part of being a foreign resident in a country is to kind of fit in and just, fit in, because how else can you do that as quickly as by learning the language? You're making communication much easier, because communication really is, I believe, the hardest thing for a foreigner to deal with. Not being able to communicate with someone in their own language because you don't know their language and they don't know yours. It's not a nice feeling. Of course, there are instances where you can use English, like for example, again, Tokyo is a very international city in Japan compared to most other cities. People working there, Japanese people in and amongst that kind of area, they're used to foreigners, so it's not really a big thing for them to kind of switch to English or to understand that this person will be using English and not Japanese, so I should do the same. That's not everywhere in Japan. That's not every Japanese person in Japan. And of course, there are other foreigners, let's not get this twisted, there are other foreigners in Japan who don't speak English. They might be Spanish, they might be French, they might be... other foreigners live in Japan. So it can be a case where it's not just English in this situation, other languages too. What I'm trying to put across is, I don't appreciate people saying that, well, I'm from this country where this language is spoken, so speak to me in my own language. It's hypocritical, stupid almost, because, well, not almost, it is, because how are you going to go to Japan and say to a Japanese person, I don't speak your language, even though I'm in your country, speak mine. Of course, there are people in Japan who actually want to speak to foreigners in English because, well, English practice, or they just want to speak in a different language themselves. So, I don't know, I find that really interesting in that some foreigners, when going abroad, don't want to speak the country's language or the, language of the people living in that country. That's the same thing. But there's people in that same country who actually want to talk to foreigners in their language, the foreigner's language, I mean. To see people speak a language foreign to them, to try to make things easier on me, that makes me want to learn their language more and want to communicate. I kind of thought, yeah, you know what? Actually, it's a pretty interesting thing to talk about to the camera in my room, alone. Please feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of this. I don't know who would. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one, whatever that's going to be. Take it easy.